Story 1. I find the fear of homelessness and starvation are pretty fantastic motivators. That, and knowing we are the furthest advanced in human history. 50 years ago, if you wanted to see a frog, you would probably have to go to the library and look for it. Can you imagine if you wanted to see a frog with a party hat on? Forget about it. Now, I just search it and forget in 30 seconds, absolute perfection. Story 2. Nothing, because I spend 45 minutes doom scrolling through Instagram, watching videos of other people being motivated. Then I rush to the shower and leave for work because I'm late, even after waking up 90 minutes early. Story 3. The prospect of pedantically pointing out minor grammatical errors on Reddit. By the way, the term you are looking for is every day. What you have there is an adjective. Story 4. I have bills to pay, food to buy, water to drink, and rent to pay. I also have 2 cats, my children. Being alive is expensive. Being poor is not good. Story 5. I'm training an army of squirrels, and they tap on my window, reminding me of the social contract where I am obligated to feed them in return for loyalty. Story 6. Well, it was my dog. My soul dog, the kind that, if you are lucky, you only get maybe once in a lifetime. After about 15 wonderful years together, I had to have him put to sleep a few days ago for health reasons. Now I am not so sure. Story 7. I usually plan some event the night before that makes me excited to get out of bed. But if I have nothing planned, the bed and I are not moving. Story 8. Spite. I found a meme that said something to the effect of suicide is never the answer. You have to outlive your enemies. And it hit close to home for me. Story 9. I work 7 evenings out of 14, so half my days it's work. The other half I need to feed the cat. On a day off like today, I'll just sit around playing games, reading a good book, or pottering around the house doing a bit of light housework. I could stay in bed, but Pushkin needs her breakfast. I can always snuggle up in bed again a little later with a book or a movie. Story 10. The 28th of every month. This date motivates me to get out of bed every day because this is when I receive my monthly salary. I look forward to the 28th every single day. Story 11. I hit the snooze button twice this morning. My motivation to get up was fear of losing everything I have worked for. So, not so much motivation as a gun to my head. Story 12. Don't need motivation anymore. The cats have me well trained, howling and bringing me their toy mouse or ball to play fetch. Every single morning. Guess it's my fault for teaching my cats how to play fetch. Story 13. The fact is, I'd like to continue having a bed to return to. If I stop getting out of bed, my company stops paying me, so I can't pay rent and I become homeless and without a bed. I don't want that. I like having a bed, so I leave it so it will still be there. Story 14. The dog is outside my bedroom door and needs feeding. There is no force strong enough in the universe to make me not get up for him. I don't even set an alarm, just got him used to having his breakfast at 6:30. Story 15. The fear of not completing my task for the day. I really don't like disappointing my client, so I tend to make sure I deliver on time. If I spend too much time in bed, I won't be able to meet my promises. Story 16. As an apprentice, I have to get out of bed every day because I want to have a decent life with a fair amount of money. If I do not get out of bed, things in life will turn bad really quickly. Story 17. Making money so I can buy myself, my family, and friends cool things. Finding easy hustles so I can take random trips to Hawaii or wherever I want to go. Eating clean and working out for 4 to 5 days so I can let loose on the weekends, eat unhealthy, and have some drinks. Life is about balance. Find it and find happiness. Story 18. The grooming standard. There is a lot that can go wrong in life. Lack of battery, cold food, lack of affection. The one thing I can always rely on is the grooming standard. Story 19. In the morning, the first thing that comes to mind is to sit. If I don't get up, my troubles will be all over the mattress. So, like it or not, I have to get up, and the rest just rolls away until I arrive at the workplace. That's where the real shift hits the fan. Story 20. My city has a homelessness problem. You don't have to go very far to get motivated. Motivation to get out of bed in the morning is having a bed to get out of every morning. Story 21. Life in general anyway, staying in bed gives me back pain. I love breakfast after work, but you have to eat well. Life is short, so you have to do as many things as possible, and for that, you need a little money, so that motivates me. Story 22. I do my best to not rely on motivation because motivation wanes over time. I try to stick to dedication, repetition, and habit. The reasons I live this way, though, are because of my nephews who are my godsons, and because I was bedridden for almost 6 years. Once I was able to get out of bed, I do my best not to have to get back into it until it's time to sleep again. I wasted so much of my life on my back. So every morning I'm able to get out of bed. I do. Story 23. Fear of feeling lazy. I was always prompt and fully engaged during my 43 years in the workforce. I retired in 2017, but lately, I enjoy lying in bed for a while in the morning, having coffee and watching television. I just got up. 10 in the morning is when that lazy feeling hits hardest. Story 24. I'm retired and old, 73, have to pee, and I have 4 cats to take care of. I need to move around because I broke my leg just above the ankle and had to have surgery. They put in a plate and 4 screws. My ankle gets stiff while I sleep, so I have to walk and move it. I have to see what achievement I can unlock today on Reddit. I just found out I'm going to be a grandmother again. I was afraid I'd be dead before I had grandkids. I have 1 grandson that's 5. My son didn't marry until he was 50, too busy working. The force of habit gets me up. I've been doing it for too many years. I worked for 43 years, so getting up is a habit I can't break. Story 25. Money. Finally got a decent pay raise and I'm not living paycheck to paycheck. Finally able to pay off debts. Finally able to start saving and investing. Story 26. I don't really care about myself. The only reason I didn't kill myself today is because it's a sin. I view life as a game. I want to die, but I always remember or get reminded that I got a good start. A house, parents, school, and food. Story 27. Seeing the comments on these posts is brutal. I have heard the phrase motivation fades. It is discipline through the years, and at first I thought it was okay. Then it started to lose meaning. I think there's some kind of source of energy or motivation that some people are able to access and some don't. If you go deep enough, you'll realize that discipline is also fueled by motivation, by a meaning. The moment the meaning disappears or gets blurry, motivation turns to inertia and nothing more. Anyway, I think the Maslow pyramid is pretty good to respond to this. Story 28. Well, I have a goal that I want to achieve no matter what. I don't want to sacrifice my entire future, my goals, and everything just because I'm lazy and want to sleep for 5 more minutes. That thought is enough for me to get out of bed and get back to work. Story 29. At this point in life, honestly, I have no idea why I keep going. Maybe because if I do these things, my mom and sisters will be sad. I'm just pushing myself for them, I guess. I'm not sure, really. And chicken tastes so good. And I'd be sad if I couldn't eat chicken anymore. And video games are so much fun. I started playing Path of Exile recently. I'm having so much fun. The game is insanely fun to play. Yeah, maybe those 3 are the reasons I'm still here today. Story 30. Everything that needs to be done in order for me to start truly living my life. House chores, work, eating. This stuff won't get done on its own. It has to be taken care of, and nobody else is going to do it, so that means I need to get up and do it. The sooner I get it all done, the sooner I can relax, work on myself and hobbies, or go out and have fun. Story 31. That I would like to continue having a bed to wake up in, a roof over my head, and food. I am motivated by maintaining my basic needs to continue living. Story 32. It has never crossed my mind to not get out of bed and go to work, or even on the weekends that I use for everything else. I don't know if it's force of habit, but not getting up doesn't seem like an option. Story 33. On the pragmatic and slightly negative side, you have no other choice. Suicide is never a choice unless you are terminal. The damage caused by suicide is too vast. On the realistic side, life is a grand gift that's given to you anew each day. Happiness and sadness are both temporary, and they both bring joy and meaning to life. There's so much to do, Watch a game, play a game, see a movie, binge a television show, read that novel, have sex. Things are tough, but things have always been tough. Times like the 1950s through the 1970s are rare, and we have to make them happen and not allow the greedy to prevent them like they are now. If you believe in God, explore your faith. It will bring comfort. If you don't, explore what brings you joy and meaning. Travel is very mind-expanding. Oh, look at that. It's coffee time. I like an egg with breakfast. Story 34. My dog forces me up and out every morning, afternoon, and night. She is more important than how I am feeling. She needs to go outside, walk, and be loved. A friend of mine once said about her dog, "She gives me a reason when I do not have a reason." Story 35. Learning more about Bach. Of all the composers, Bach is the most spiritual, the most comforting. Playing his music every day and working on new pieces always keeps me motivated. Story 36. You can really phone it in some days if you're at least present. Just be there and get by, and then on days when you are feeling up to it, you can make your career. All of that to say, I need to get through the work phase of my life as soon as fucking possible. Story 37. As someone who was a ward of the state and graduated that program only to be homeless at 18, the absolute desire to not be homeless is a big factor for me. Everything else is about being able to give my family everything I never had. I'm 38 now and have never been homeless again, and based on my income, I'm considered upper middle class. Story 38. Well, not every day, but if I don't get out of bed, my money decreases. People who are counting on me add to the balance in more ways than financially. So, if anyone is looking for an honest answer, it's people first and fear of poverty second. Story 39. My husband brings me a cup of coffee and tells me to get up. For years later, he still makes my coffee every morning. I forgot how I take my own coffee because I haven't made it in so long. Story 40. I'm not motivated as much as I am obligated. But when I am free of obligation, I still don't like to stay in bed. I have a hard enough time sleeping, so I designated my bedroom to only sleeping. I don't hang out there, no television in the bedroom. I am only in there to either sleep, get new clothes, or take care of the pets I have in there. Beyond that, I really can't stand to be in bed all day. I don't do anything outside of the house, nor very much inside of it. But if I am awake, I would rather be upright or at least sitting up than lying down. Story 41. Trigger warning. Death of a baby. My husband and I lost our first child on December 2nd, 2024. I was 29 weeks pregnant, driving to work, and a woman ran a red light and collided with me. I was rushed to the hospital for an emergency cesarean section along with 2 other emergency surgeries, and our son didn't make it. The first time my husband held our son, he was dead, and I was still in surgery. There was uncertainty about what the outcome would be for my life. I wake up so my husband remains motivated to wake up. I wake up because I know that if I don't, he would no longer have the motivation either. He is such a wonderful person. I wake up because I hope to still have a family with my husband. He and I have so much love to give. It would be a real shame if we didn't try again. I am afraid we're a little too old and won't be able to conceive again naturally. 38-year-old female, 40-year-old male. And our obstetrician said we have to wait a year for me to heal because I ended up having 5 surgeries total within 2 weeks. We can't afford in vitro fertilization or adoption, so I wake up because it's one day closer to the year we have to wait being over. Story 42. I don't have motivation. I have a deep hunger to live the life I'm meant to live. Not work for a boss who couldn't care less about me. Providing for my family and enjoying this world before I'm gone is what I strive to do. Story 43. My cat. I lost everything in a tornado 5 months ago, and my cat was in the house. We didn't know a tornado was coming, and I was 2 towns away. I got to my house in 20 minutes while I was 40 minutes away. I saved my cat, and everything else wasn't salvageable. I knew if anything were to happen to me, he wouldn't make it either. He lost his home, his toys, and his friends, my other pets. He doesn't even eat or move when I leave for work. He stays on my bed and will only eat if I watch him. He's super attached to me, and I know he needs me here. Story 44. I get out of bed so that I can have a bed to be in. If I don't work, Then I won't have money for rent. If I don't have money for rent, I would eventually get evicted. If I get evicted, I would get arrested for homelessness and would have to sleep in a bad prison bed. Story 45. It's currently 2:55 a.m. and I am going on a date with my girlfriend. I have to be up at 9. I'm too excited to sleep, but I don't want to be extremely tired, so I have to fall asleep. Not much, just something exciting, I guess. Story 46. It's either I get out of bed and go make money, or I can stay in a bed that's under a bridge or something for as long as I like. I enjoy having heating, running water, and electricity on demand, so yes, I will be getting my ass out of bed. Story 47. Mine is honestly my family. I really want to give my partner a good life, spend time with him, and make him happy. It's what motivates me to cook homemade and healthy foods for us, make sure we have money and health insurance, and I want to make sure he's happy. Story 48. Actually, I have a self-talk when I am half asleep and half awake about which reality is more interesting, my current life or the half-dream life. Then, after some time, I choose reality. Story 49. I have an apartment that I want to keep, a couple of dogs and a girlfriend I need to keep a roof over the heads of, and the will to make sure my bills are paid. There's food in the pantry and freezer and some money in my bank account. Plus, out of all the kids in the family, I'm the oldest. That being the case, I have an obligation to be the example the rest should strive to be. Story 50. My kids are teenagers. My husband takes them to school each morning, but if I were just depressed in bed when they got home, I think they would worry. So I get myself up,